All right, so you're about to get into the video, the live stream, YouTube. What's up? You tuned to Ty's Life. Um, my name is Tariq Knight. Tuned to Ty's Life. I'm about to be reacting to what's it called? Larry Bird versus with Charles Barkley. But the first reaction is going to be, as you can see in the comments. Oh shoot! I had it out here before and it's deleted. All right, but the first one is going to be a doctor talking about what happened during Jordan's flu game. That should be interesting. I really want to get into the specifics of it and get into a deep dive of what happened to him during the flu game, because honestly, people said that there was people that brought a pizza to him. He ordered pizza, and they did something to the pizza because they knew it was Michael Jordan, and it was in Utah. That game was in Utah, in fact. So I guess they knew they're Utah fans, and like, we need a win, so we need to put something in Jordan's food. I'm not sure what they did. I really hope this video is not nasty as hell. If it is, you'll see my reaction. Hopefully it's funny. Hopefully you don't cringe too much. But yeah, a doctor's about to break that down. We're about to react to that first. All right. So I'm gonna get this up. I'm gonna put this on the screen. Present this real quick. But first things first, if you're not following me on Twitch right now, if you're watching on Twitch, hit that follow button for more videos like this, or leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want me to react to next. And yeah, what type of content you're interested in for me to react to. Really starting off with Twitch right now. I originally started on YouTube, so you can watch my YouTube channel, Ty's Life. That's in my bio on Twitch. Yeah, Ty's Life. So yeah, I'm about to present this real quick. Let's get this on the screen. Let's see. It's on June 30th.
Like 10:30 at night.
All right. Present this. Voice cracking like crazy. Sheesh. What in the world? All right. I'll put the comments on the screen. All right. Yeah. About to get into it. Hit that follow button. Let's get it. Let's go. Why is this shit not playing? Okay, here you go.
10:30 at night. Hungry.
No room service. Michael gets hungry. All right, so we're calling all these different places. George and I are looking around. We find one pizza place.
Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Five guys delivering one pizza. So I take the pizza, I pay them, and I put this pizza down. I said, I got a bad feeling about this.
I eat the pizza all by myself. Nobody else eats. I wake up about 2:30, throwing up left and right. I stayed in bed all day. Couldn't eat anything, could hold nothing down. So it really wasn't the flu game. It was food poisoning.
That's probably the toughest decision of my medical career, because so many things could have happened at that point. There's nothing else that I could do. He looked a couple of times in the third and fourth quarter like he was going to pass out.
Sure. Yes.
I thought about saying something, but I didn't. I was just sitting there hoping he didn't pass out.
He was like half dead. He was bent over. A couple of doctors were holding him up. He was real weak. He had no balance. It didn't look good.
He went somewhere and he found a switch.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Knopf. MJ's ability to overcome this game, dropping 38 points and leading his team to victory, is considered one of the most iconic moments in sports history. Michael Jordan's performance is a testament to his mindset, physical conditioning, as well as the immediate support that was provided by the team's medical staff. Today, we're going to be breaking down the sports science, as well as the potential complications MJ could have suffered. What better time to drop this video than during the 2024 NBA Finals? Let's get into it.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, we were going to practice, and somebody said one of the players was sick. And it turned out it was Michael. And I went to his room, and Michael didn't look very well. He'd been up for, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours with a headache and nausea.
Typically what you do here is you're going to check the blood pressure. You're going to check his heart rate. Sometimes if the blood pressure is low, that makes you worry that he's dehydrated. Also, your heart rate would be a little bit higher in this scenario. You want to see if he has chills or body aches along with fevers, because sometimes that's more indicative of a pathogenic infection or an infection by a bacteria or a virus. You want to ask if he's having diarrhea. You want to know if there's blood in the diarrhea. You want to know if it's watery or if there's pus. Sometimes you want to ask if there's eggs or worms in there if you're worried about a parasitic infection. Another thing is urine output. You want to ask Michael Jordan how much urine output he's having and what color his urine is. If he's having less urine output, you're worried about dehydration.
I examined him. He wasn't dehydrated, so I gave him a couple of medications to get some rest to relax his stomach. And I told him I'd check on him after practice.
When we got there in the morning to shoot around, and Michael wasn't there. I mean, come on, where's Michael? Michael Jordan never misses a shoot around in the finals.
So we hear the doctor say here that he examines Michael Jordan and he gives him some medication. A great physical exam modality is checking someone's tongue. If the tongue is dry, then the patient is dehydrated. Also the abdominal exam. You want to check the right upper quadrant for the liver and gallbladder. Sometimes if the liver is swollen, you think of something like hepatitis. Sometimes if the gallbladder is swollen, you worry about either a gallstone or an infection of the gallbladder. The right lower quadrant.
So this is very educational. When it comes to, like, I guess if you have a situation where you feel like you have food poisoning, I guess there's different breakdowns of it. But if you're a fan of Jordan, you really want to know exactly what happened to him. I mean, I guess you watch this video, get the breakdown of it. It's very cringy, but it's life. It happens. People do stupid things and poison people, so they can get their way. And people are dumb. Probably should go to jail for that. But I mean, who would really catch them? Like, who was really gonna find who poisoned Michael Jordan if they really investigated? But I don't think it was that serious because they didn't die or anything. But they could have pressed charges. I'm not sure if they did. But yeah, it just gives you the breakdown of that, and it shows you how crazy it was that he was able to push through and still get the win and go crazy like that. I don't even know how many points he had. How many points did he have? Honestly, let me check. Let me double check. How many points did Jordan have during flu game? Flu game. Let me see. How many points did Jordan have during flu game? I'll check that right now. How many points? How many points? Right. $38 points during flu game. Crazy. That man is a monster. I don't understand. I don't understand how you even get through that if you're going through food poisoning. Like that sense of toleration in your system. And the amount of, like, strength you have to have mentally. Honestly, Jordan was so good because he was so mentally tough, and he was already, like, physically gifted. He was already physically gifted. He was talented. He had, like, a lot of the skills and a lot of the fundamentals came to him easily. So it's like he will do this either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he's like 20%, he's not feeling his best. Like he's not even 50%. The man's like 20 because he's like he should even be there. Like, any work day, if you're sick, you're sick, you're home. But if it's like at the end of the month, you have to get things out. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it done. This is the playoffs. This is the last quarter. You know what I'm saying? So you treat the last quarter a certain way. But this is actually physically taking a toll on you because you're playing basketball. You're playing a sport. It's not like you're at the office just on your computer typing and stuff. Like, you're sick, you come into the office. All right, it's not a flu game, but it's still crazy. No one's coming to the office. Imagine someone going to the office after food poisoning. You're insane. They're insane. Like, what are you doing? They're not paying you that much. But Jordan, his dedication to the game and the fact that he was able to still pull through and score 38 points, they'd be asking why they pay these guys so much money. You have Jordan doing stuff like that. Like, yo, what? That's so entertaining. He's still gonna pull through and get the win for your organization, and the amount of money he probably made for that organization, and the fact that he even had a game where he was sick and he was able to pull through like that. The amount of traction, the amount of fans they acquired from Jordan, just the Bulls organization as a whole too. Like, it's crazy. Like, what he did for them, he put his freaking body to the test for them. Honestly, he really did. And he's the greatest of all time. He's a GOAT. It was worth it. I mean, it was dangerous. He probably shouldn't have done that. But he's still alive today. He's still healthy today. So it's like that was definitely a risk. But you know, he did his thing, man. He did his thing, and that's an understatement, man. I know that was a long, that was a long pause, but yeah, I just had to say that was crazy. This is phenomenal, man. So going through the specifics, and then knowing what Jordan did, it makes it even more crazy.
Rebound tenderness there can be indicative of something like appendicitis. You also want to check near the stomach area, just right off to the side. That's where the spleen is. Sometimes you worry about splenomegaly. And if the spleen is enlarged, likely Michael Jordan wouldn't have been able to play in the game because you do worry about splenic rupture. Most commonly, this occurs with something like mononucleosis. In rare cases, if you have a rash with blood in the stool, maybe even blood in the urine, and a decreased urine output, you might be worried about an E. coli infection that stems from undercooked beef. For MJ, based on what his doctor was saying, his vitals were stable. Unfortunately, there were no severely abnormal findings on his exam. The couple medications that MJ likely got were antiemetics, which work on the gut and the brain to prevent vomiting. These can be administered multiple ways. It can be done through the IV, it could be done under the tongue, or you could give a pill. Sometimes you even have injectables.
I went back up after practice. Yeah, he was better. He was stayed before the game. Blood pressure, everything else was fine. Had a minimal headache, if at all, and he said he wanted to go and play. So we took the bus ride down from Park City, which was a very, very winding bus ride.
The bus ride was probably 35 minutes from Park City to where we were playing the arena, and he had a towel around his head.
We got to the stadium there. He was feeling very, very dizzy.
And literally, I thought that he struggled to get down the hallway to the training room where we're at.
Coffee is very, very good for inner ear type things. So we gave him 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee, and he felt a little better.
So you hear the doctor mention that he gave MJ 4 to 5, maybe 6 cups of coffee before the game. He also mentions that coffee is good for inner ear type things. If you're curious about what that means, he's talking about the vestibular system, which is inside your ears. This is working on the 8th cranial nerve. When your doctor looks inside your ear, this is the structure that we see, the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. Just inside there is the inner ear, which is comprised of 2 main structures. There's the semicircular canals, which deal with balance, and you have this snail-like structure, which is the cochlea, and helps us hear everything around us. These semicircular canals are set 90 degrees apart from one another, and they're fluid-filled and contain these little calcium crystals that basically tell your brain which orientation it's in. For example, what position your head is currently in, whether you're laying back flat or sitting up or somewhere in between. It's likely thinking of an additional differential like a vestibular migraine. In a vestibular migraine, some of these vessels can dilate and compress this structure, which can affect the inner ear and can lead to episodes of vertigo, dizziness, balance problems, nausea, vomiting, along with the typical migraine symptoms. Caffeine can be helpful in this context because it is a vasoconstrictor, and sometimes if you're having a migraine, you might have overdilation of those vessels. Additionally, it can enhance the efficacy of pain relief medications. You got to be careful here though, because there's plenty of things where caffeine can worsen inner ear type things. Even in something like motion sickness, caffeine is generally not recommended.
At 3:30 this morning, Michael Jordan woke up with flu-like symptoms. He had a stomachache and a headache, and he couldn't go back to sleep. He threw up all night, and as reported earlier, he missed a shoot around, but he was in bed all day and continued to throw up.
I'm not sure what the NBA protocol for upper respiratory infections was in '97, but in today's day and age, if you suspect influenza in an athlete, you get a rapid flu test, and even if the athlete has mild symptoms, they're usually required to be fever-free and without major symptoms for 24 hours without the assistance of fever-reducing medication. Also, athletes are advised to rest and isolate immediately upon presenting with symptoms of influenza to prevent the spread of the virus. If MJ had the flu, he would likely have spread it to his teammates and the staff. And if he ended up playing with it, he could also have potentially spread it to other players. While it's possible some athletes may cover up their symptoms and fever with medications and opt not to get tested for the flu in an attempt to play, it's pretty unlikely in this scenario based on MJ's symptoms and because there's no record of anyone else on the Bulls or Jazz experiencing any of these symptoms. Now, if I could put my finger on one specific thing that I think that this was, based on the timeline, because MJ had rapid onset vomiting within 2 to 3 hours after eating a pizza, as well as rapid resolution of his symptoms, it's likely he did have food poisoning, and he got it from a bug called Staph aureus.
So there you go.
The bug that causes staph infections. When foods aren't stored properly or when they sit out at room temperature too long, bacteria can start to grow in them and produce toxins. Staph, in particular, is notorious for growth on dairy products like cheese, cooked meat products like pepperoni or chicken, and on eggs and mayonnaise if they've sat out at room temperature for too long. These toxins can be present in dangerous amounts in foods that have no signs of spoilage or even a bad smell. So sometimes you can't even catch it, and you might eat something like that. Rapidly, within 2 to 3 hours, you're going to be vomiting, and it usually lasts around 24 hours, but then it rapidly resolves after that. It could also be possible that somebody tampered with the pizza. If that's the case, then that might have also triggered a response from MJ's gastrointestinal system. It's important to note that vomiting itself is not a bad thing. Nausea and vomiting are a defense mechanism by your body when threatening bugs enter your GI after you eat something suspicious. Communication between the gut and the brain tells your GI to start working in reverse peristalsis, causing food contents to move backwards from the small intestines into the stomach. All content is ejected out of the body with an intense rhythmic contraction. The intestines stop absorbing water, so a lot of liquid is flushed out the other end as well.
I thought about saying something, but I didn't. That was probably the toughest decision of my medical career because so many things could have happened at that point.
That was probably the biggest concern, given the altitude and dryness of the atmosphere in Salt Lake City at that time, that he would just be well hydrated throughout.
So you hear the doctor say this was maybe the toughest.
Yeah, maybe the toughest decision of his career, because I can't remember his title. Was it a physician? He's a physician for Chicago Bulls. Honestly, if anything would have happened to Jordan, let's say Jordan was on the court and he ends up passing out and he was going to the hospital, his job is on the line. Need for them to get a championship, right? And the doctors are there to support the players and to be there for the players so they can be healthy enough to go get a championship, but they're also there for their safety. So it's like trying to balance the two. So it's like, okay, there's a good chance he could get through this game with nothing happening, that could happen. Maybe possibly nothing that happens in that moment. There's another likely situation where he passes out and it's life-threatening. You know what I'm saying? So it's you have to balance the two, which one is more likely. And if we know Jordan, and maybe that doctor just had to trust Jordan at that moment, but he said that was the toughest decision. I could imagine, because it's bro, you're talking to Jordan. Jordan's probably a hothead. He's probably not even listening to nobody. He wants to get the win. So if he's gonna get on the court, he's gonna get on the court. You can't really stop him from doing that. So it's he had to really make that decision. It's okay, he wants to do it. It's going to be on me at the end of the day, but it is what it is. I really hope, I pray that he gets through this game, but he more than got through that game. He scored 38 points and was good after, but shoot, look like he's about to pass out, going to the bench. Every shot he made, every timeout they took, he looked like he was about to like pass out. And like he looked like he was not okay. But he got through it. He had 38 points. They won the series. So yeah, it's crazy though. It's crazy. It's a tough situation to be in, for real.
Decision of his career, and he's definitely right. This being the NBA Finals, let's talk about all the complications that can occur. Altitude and dryness plays a role in dehydration. Salt Lake City is about 4,000 feet above sea level, so even a healthy athlete can expect to feel more dehydrated just because of that altitude. The increase in sweating and
Utah
basically has an athlete losing fluid a lot faster than they would somewhere near sea level, and that does burn more energy as well. You tack on something where you're having a lot of fluid loss, like vomiting and possibly diarrhea, talking about severe complications from dehydration. Things like electrolyte abnormalities that can cause heart rhythm abnormalities, sometimes life-threatening arrhythmias. You're talking about an increased cardiovascular strain, the heart having to work a lot harder if it's losing a lot of fluids. In addition to that, you have some type of bacterial or viral illness on top of it. You're also worried about something like hyperthermia or heat stroke, where sometimes if you're not getting enough fluids, you become very dehydrated, but you push yourself enough, your body can't cool itself down. We've seen what muscle cramping can do, especially if you watch the NBA Finals for a long time. You remember when LeBron James had severe cramping in Game 1 against the Spurs. Luckily, Michael Jordan played 44 minutes and he didn't cramp, but just based on the amount of fluid loss, playing at a high altitude, there's a likelihood that he could have cramped up, and sometimes that does take you out of the game. And another thing
oh my gosh, because Utah is probably the worst place to play in. For real, like players have confirmed this. Their altitude is the highest in the NBA. So Jordan, like he got food poisoning, and he's playing at the worst place in the NBA to play when you're sick, because you can barely breathe. Like it's hard to breathe. Like you get used to it throughout the game. Like once you get into the intensity of the game and your heart rate keeps on going, like you're gonna forget about it, but you're still like it's still good. It's gonna feel like it's hard to breathe. It's gonna be the air is so thick. So imagine going through that, and plus you have to worry about like your stomach and you feel like you're to vomit every 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're about to pass out, like you're weak as hell. I don't know how he pulled through and was given the strength, but that was God, man. That was God. I don't think Jordan was playing out there right now. I really feel like God was really pushing him to play. God was really leading him to really play, and all the ability that God gave him. He still gave him the strength when his hands touched that ball. Suddenly, when he got off the court, you could tell like his the strength from his body just left him every single time. And then when he got on the court, it was totally different. He regained his strength. So it's crazy. It's nuts, but it's something to see, man. It's something to see. I mean, I don't know if it's like it's a good motivational story, but it's also like you still have to take care of your body. You still have to, because not everybody has that in them. The risk is very high, and not everybody will drop 38 points and leave the game healthy. Jordan is just a different breed. He's the greatest of all time. He's definitely meant to do this. God has put him on this earth to play basketball, and then pursue any business ventures after that based off of his name and what he's done. So that's Jordan. Not everybody's like that. So I wouldn't recommend anybody to do the same thing. But if you were to do the same thing, God willing, hopefully God is with you and behind you for that. So yeah.
Sometimes overlooked is the increased risk of injury. Sometimes the motor control from the brain to the hands and the legs. When you're exhausted as an athlete, you start losing motor control. This can lead to a higher likelihood of injury. And for team physicians, one important thing is sometimes you have to protect the athletes from themselves. This is Michael Jordan. It's the NBA Finals. You know he's going to go out there and he's going to try and give it his all. That's a lot of pressure on the doctor to try and pull him away from that.
Mhm.
And thank God we're talking about this game and the incredible feat that we saw. We're not talking about this game like one of the worst complications in NBA basketball history, because there'd be a completely different narrative about it. And I know those thoughts were going through this doctor's head.
He's like the Terminator. I mean, he went somewhere and he found a switch.
A switch, man.
Have a chance to check the lead. At the end of that game, he started rising up and making shots and carrying that team.
With the Bulls down by 8 points in the fourth quarter, Jordan erupted.
Yes, the Jazz 77 and the Bulls 71.
You couldn't believe how good this story was getting.
Jordan fires the yes, and he's tied the game at 77. Jordan shooting. Yes. Chicago 79 and Utah 77.
With 46 seconds to play, Jordan tied it at 85 with one free throw.
And the game is tied at 85.
The Bulls have been here year after year. The confidence, the poise, the determination, the discipline and organization down the stretch, all paying off right now with Jordan masterfully at the line.
Able to scoop up the loose ball.
Michael reaches down with John Stockton right there. Quick hands. Michael somehow gathers the ball, goes outside behind the three-point line.
10 on the shot clock.
Ooh, the shot. 3-point shot. Bow.
Michael Jordan from straight away.
Crazy.
Hitting that three-point shot at a very key moment. When a person who's totally drained at the level he was drained at was a psychological battle that I've never seen anybody overcome.
Chicago Bulls have defeated the Utah Jazz.
I was really tired. I was very weak. At halftime, I told Phil that use me in spurts. But, I mean, somehow I found the energy to stay strong. I wanted it really bad.
After the game, he looked terrible. He looked like he was going to pass out. We lied him down in the locker room. Blood pressure was okay. He was so weak that he couldn't drink. We had to force feed him Gatorade. And it took about 30 or 45 minutes of giving him a lot of Gatorade, and then he was finally able to stand up and felt okay.
Like, honestly, it's crazy how the will that he has, like, to win really pushes him through to get the dub and play at that level. It doesn't make any sense. Like, he said he was really weak, but he was out there looking strong. It did, like, the shots he was making, he was still playing like prime Jordan. He was playing like he was 100%, even though he was going through it mentally and physically. That psychological battle that he was going through, I don't understand how he even got through it, but he wanted to win so bad that he just overcame any negative thoughts, anything. Oh, I want to come off the court. I don't feel good right now. No, he's like, nah, I'm getting this dub. Flu game. Like, you're sick to your stomach. He was sick physically and mentally, because he was what he was going through and how he had to play an NBA game against the best players in the world. He still put up 38 points. You have to have that mindset. You still got to put up 38, even though the odds are not with you. You still put up 38. You still go for 40. You still get the dub. You really want it. You get it done. You put God first. You get it done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is very motivating. Yeah. Until next time, if you're interested in this content, and The Last Dance, and you want me to react to it, hit that follow button, hit that like button, on YouTube, and then subscribe. So I'm about to head out. I'm about to say a prayer real quick, but I'll be back later. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Whoever's watching this video, heal them from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet. Allow them to be the best possible individuals they can possibly be, and allow them to be stewards of the word. Allow them to stand on everything they believe in, all the morals. Allow them to not sell their morals for money and fame and whatever else they want in life. The power is in Christ in the name of Jesus, and the power is in everybody showing their light and coming together and fighting against the evils of this world. So, in the name of Jesus, I pray, allow them to everybody to stand on their principles, their morals, and to follow God and to lean on God. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. So stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.